In World of Tanks Blitz, there are many tier 10 mediums, but none like the E50M. This is the only tier 10 medium that weighs an insane amount, is fantastic for ramming, and as well actually has heavy tank-like armor that is able to be angled and bounce a lot of shells. That's what makes the E50M so strong. Sure, the T22 medium has a very strong and troll armor profile. This tank is reliable, and that's what makes it an extremely good vehicle. Well, I'm of course your host, World Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the newest addition to the German family, the Kampfpanzer 50-ton. Now, this vehicle is obviously currently in super testing. Only 2 people have played it, which in my opinion means that it's only like in the beginning stages of super testing. Then it's going to go in the open test, or not open test, but, you know, for the testers itself on the World of Tanks Blitz server. And then maybe, with some statistical changes, we'll see this vehicle come into the game. Now, I'm very, very excited for this vehicle because this is a heavy tank, kind of, and then as well a medium, but there are a lot of things that are going to be changed on the vehicle in my personal opinion. Let's start off with the gun though. It's got 3,305 damage per minute. Now that's not bad by any means, but if you take a look at a vehicle like the E50M, it's just sitting around 3,200, and that's with gun rammer on. So I don't find the DPM to be that great. It's not going to be bad by any means, but it's not fantastic. The thing that's going to be good is the 320 alpha, because that means since you're sitting at a little bit less alpha, but a little bit more DPM than your average tier 10 medium, what that means is that you're going to be able to out-reload any 350 alpha. So, well, obviously not like a Leopard 1, but if you're up against an M48 Patton or an STB-1, E50M, that means that you can shoot that vehicle, and easily, if it shoots, you'll get another shell back into it without even having to worry that it's going to out-reload you. That's something that's very, very nice about this tank. So in return, you can sometimes take 640 damage off somebody when they're only able to take 350 off of you. The penetration is also very good. At 250, it's pretty dang good for a tier 10 medium, and the heat at 300 is obviously top of the line, but that's pretty much what all tier 10 mediums carry. You'd want yours to carry at least 350, so not bad on that value either. Overall, the gun seems okay. There's nothing spectacular good about it, but there's also nothing bad about it. But one thing that is great is the shell velocity. Woohoo! 1,478, that is going to be fantastic. That means that across any long distances, this gun is going to slap kind of like a Chieftain Mark 6. The heat as well carries pretty good shell velocity, 1,173. It's not the best, but you can see that it's the best shell velocity pretty much for heat shell you'll find in tier 10, so not bad at all by any means once again. So I think that this vehicle is going to have a very, very good gun. As we all know, the Germans like good guns, and that goes for the dispersion as well. It's .308, which isn't fantastic, but it's also not bad. That's about the same dispersion you'd find on vehicles like the AMX-30B and the STB-1, which it does miss occasionally, but usually the shells go where you want them to. The aiming time, though, it's okay. 1.72 seconds. It's kind of similar to, again, the STB type playstyle. So, yeah, but bad things. Dispersion factors on move are just terrible. 0.16, 0.16, and 0.08 are actually horrific, and that means that this vehicle will struggle immensely to hit people on the move when you're driving, and that means every time you do move your turret or move the tank, you are going to have to spend all of that time aiming in on the enemy, which vehicles like the Leopard 1 and the E50M don't struggle as much on. Yeah, that's not great, and I really don't think I'm going to enjoy that part. Does carry great gun depression, though, 8 degrees, not too bad at all. That means that you're going to be able to work a lot of ridge lines well, in fact, pretty much any ridge line you need to. Aiming arc, obviously, it's a fully traversable turret, I'd hope, and it's got decent turret traverse speed at 42.52. It's not great, like that's really slow, but because it's got decent traverse speed in general at 61.96, when you turn the whole tank, it's not going to be bad as a good conjugation. It's going to be over 100 degrees a second, so in 3 seconds, you've turned that turret an entire 360 degrees. Not bad. Effective power to weight ratio, though, it's not great. 19.8, not great. But it does have a very, very good top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, 20 in reverse. It's not bad by any means. And weird thing is concealment. It actually has the best concealment for tier 10 mediums currently in Blitz, which again, very, very weird. I really don't know what to say about this tank. It's just a whole plethora of good and bad. But the main thing that is supposed to be strong on it is the armor. You can see frontally it's very strong. The side armor, yeah, that 63 millimeters thick isn't great, but frontally, that upper plate at this angle is already 291 millimeters thick, which is incredibly strong. That means if you're using your 8 degrees of gun depression, that upper plate is 440 and 430. Good luck paying that, you never will. This is where the issues arise again, though. While that upper plate is fantastic, The turret, yeah, 260 there, not the best. And on flat ground, 250. Yeah, that means that pretty much any tier 10 is going to pen that. Any tier 10. Like you can see here, it's at 230 at this part. Even at this part's very strong, actually, 275. But again, any heat shell from any tier 10 is literally going to butter right through the entire turret, which isn't good because they're literally, even through the mantlet, it's only 250. So the tank's very strong, but I do think they're going to have to buff the turret. Make the main part of the turnabout, I would say this part here, maybe about 350-ish. Maybe a little less, 330, and then make the rest much weaker. That way, at least it can get bounces, because nothing else on the vehicle seems great, apart from the armor and the turret. I've seen it in training rooms. The turret just absolutely ruins the armor. Now, the side of the tank, you can see, has nothing. It's 65 on the side. The side of the turret's nothing. The rear, yeah, 35 millimeters thick. It's supposed to be very quick because all of the armor is only on the front. So, I'm very excited for this tank, and I think it's going to be decent, but you can see here that even Blitz Hanger is saying that it's really not going to be a great tank overall. I think that it will be buffed, and yeah, I'm liking to see what they do buff on it, because currently it seems just kind of below average on your average tier 10 mediums on statistics. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Obviously, if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Now, talking about the E50M, comparing to it, I was going to end off the video, but I also wanted to compare to the E50M just to show you a little bit of the differences here. You can see that the E50M's DPM is a little bit worse, the penetration's a little bit worse. Obviously, the heat pen is exactly the same. As I said, they always carry the exact same heat pen. The E50M has the same shell velocity on the APCR and the heat, so again, don't really have to worry about that on the gun. And you can see that the E50M's got bad on movement dispersion, but it's still nowhere near as bad as the on-movement of the other vehicle. The dispersion on the E50M is way better at 0.272. Base aiming time is exactly the same, but of course, because the dispersion's better, and as well the dispersion on moves better, it means that the E50M overall is just a much more accurate vehicle. Gun depression being the same is obviously very good, and this tank goes the same top speed forward and in reverse, and carries a very similar power-to-weight ratio of 19.26 and a little bit worse traverse speed. So overall, you can see that the E50M is very, very close. And one thing that is not good about the E50M is concealment. It's literally 12% worse, 30% worse. Well, wow, I botched that in my mind. It's 12% worse statistically overall from 32% on the Kampfpanzer and 20% on the E50M, but I meant 30% worse as a whole 1/3 value. Wow, I just really botched that, didn't I? Sorry if I just made your brain explode, but the main reason why I think the E50M will currently be better is the armor. That turret is 265, and when you're using your hull down gun depression, it's 283. And if you angle it correctly, it's about 290, which is much, much stronger than what the Kampfpanzer 50-ton is, especially because the E50M's upper plate is still about 440 on that upper bar. So, yeah, I do think that they should buff the turret a little bit. Not to be ridiculous, just enough to make it strong, because everything else in the vehicle seems quite under par. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Obviously, if you want to see more videos like this, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.